In addition to the new loops panel, we've updated the way that documentation can be used with causal loop diagrams in Stella version 3.7.1. So here's a simple causal loop diagram. It's got some labels that are on loops, and it has a partial loop label that doesn't actually belong to a loop that shows up in the panel. If you go to Model, there is now an option for Documentation Viewer. What that does is it brings up the documentation. First, it lists the loops, and the loops that are real loops. It shows the connections. And the loop that's a partial loop label, it shows the variables involved and the connectors, but it doesn't show any loops because it doesn't actually have any loops in it. Following that is a list of variables, and underneath each of the variables are any information that has in terms of documentation or tags that might be used. And for the connectors, the same thing. It's got the connector, what it's from, and what it's to, and also documentation. If you've added documentation for that connector about what it's done, the polarities are always showing up in the parentheses with a plus or a minus. So this can be exported to a file or sent to the clipboard just as documentation for a regular model can be done, and allows you to fully document your tool. The loop labels are used to determine the loops. There is no separate looking for loops. Use the loops panel in order to do that.